Okay. Let's see. Well, I came to Boulder originally in 1980 to go to college. That's when I graduated from high school, and I met my wife at that time. I graduated with my master's degree in architecture from CU. Got married and moved back to Boulder in the early 90s. My interest is in making things that are imperfect but are still beautiful. I knew that I wanted to do a mermaid, and I wanted to do something a little different. So I spent a lot of time looking at mermaid tattoos. I looked at a lot of retro ones, and I did some sketches. Some of them were images of mermaids in tattoo form that I saw, but then I kind of translated them into my own form. And you can see my tattoos in the painting. This is a tattoo that I have. I think it might have all my tattoos. And then I was looking at different ideas. One was a ship coming down a wave while the mermaid was attracting it. I got into that, and then I said, oh, now I know what I want, which is I wanted a picture of a mermaid combing a ship out of her hair. I had this idea of the mermaid being consumed by a fish. She and the fish make up one thing. The ship is in a dubious situation. It's kind of unclear what's going to happen. You can see in this painting there's a lot of ballpoint pen. I often keep notes about things that I'm going to use later on the paintings. Here's the note labeling what this is. Usually my process is one of creation and destruction, and then recreation and destruction, and I sort of tease out the image. Modigliani is one of the people I really admire. Klimt, so sometimes you can see pieces of them, especially like the people. Vacant eyes, long necks. I like buildup of time on these paintings, the patina. I kind of like the tactile part, that tactile part of working on the painting too. In the case of this, it's particularly appropriate because it's going to an aquarium. I see people's desire for perfection exhibited all the time. Anything that you buy new, if there's a scratch on it, you don't want it. I've spent a lot of time thinking about that because I see the architecture that people admire and want to emulate, and most of it's at least 400 years old. What does it have that new stuff doesn't have? It has the ravages of time. It has stood the test. It's covered with battle scars of having been a building for 400 years or 1,000 years. I started to realize, oh, it's really that we're desiring. It's this idea of effort and process, and I call it the fabric of imperfection. Things that I make here are made with love and lots of effort. I trust, rather than focusing on a final product or a final sense of beauty through effort and time and exploration physically on the paper, that will result in beauty. Seeking perfection is a waste of time. It doesn't exist. It's an imperfect, messy life, and that's what's so great.